For the last few years, you have joined me on a journey of collating my supercar collection to what it is today. Whether it's been buying my first hypercar, collecting the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, or wrapping it, buying things like the Ferrari Purosangue, and getting my first limited edition GT Porsche like the GT3 RS. It's been an interesting journey and it's nowhere close to stopping. But today I face a very real problem. The used car market has changed drastically in the last few months, and it's a time where you can really win or you can really lose. There are supercars that I want and supercars that I think I should add to the collection. However, I'm not sure entirely whether I should go for new or old, limited edition or series production run, but we are going to try and solve that today. And even if we do solve that, we are still faced with another issue. Where are all these cars gonna go? Are they going to go into storage, or am I going to have to retrofit the garage with a lifting system? Time to find out. Banks and owners are starting to view cars more like an asset than any other time before. Cars have gone up in value significantly. We can look at cars like the 458 Speciale, which are touching £1 million right now. That's a massive jump from when the cars were released. So I think now it's time to make smart buying decisions. Whether the new cars can fall into that smart buying decision bracket, we'll have to wait and see. But before I make a purchase, I need to first decide which car it's gonna be. Is it gonna be old or is it gonna be new? Let's find out. So that brings me to my favorite used car dealership, European Prestige. The reason I've come here is because they have a vast selection of cars, old and new, supercars, even hypercars that are located in the corner. We'll be able to get a good comparison and hopefully find something to buy today. If not today, at least it'll give me an idea of what I want or what I need. So are we gonna go old or new first? I think what we can do is probably go old. And when I say old, I mean old. But that's not in budget, so let's not go that old. Let's go this old. Nissan GTR. I haven't had any Japanese car in the collection for ages. Well, technically I do, because I still have my Lexus IS250. But a Nissan GTR, I think, probably wouldn't suit me. But it'll be cool to have one in the collection. This car is definitely going up in value, or has gone up in value quite a lot. I remember when I was younger, these cars were really cheap, like for nothing, and now they're like 6 figures, which is insane. If you were following me a while back, you know I was looking at a Ferrari 360. I wanted to get one to the collection, but instead I got my Mercedes SLS, which potentially might stay, might go, we'll have to see. But behind me we have a Ferrari 355, which I've always liked. I think this would be a cool car to have in the collection just because it's like a vintage Ferrari, and I haven't had any. And this reminds me of Mission Impossible. Is this Mission Impossible 2 this was in? That's before cameraman Nathan's time. But this is a very, very cool car, and this one is the much sought after manual gearbox, because you could get them with the F1 gearbox, which was in its infancy when they put it in this car. But I think this would be cool to have. One issue though is I like to ride around with my wife or one of my kids, because there's only one passenger seat. And Ferrari 355 is missing a crucial element to keep you safe in the event of a rollover, and that's a roll hoop. So if you roll, you're pretty much done for. So 355, despite looking really cool, sounding cool, naturally aspirated V8, it may not be the smart choice for a man with a family. But in case you want something old, but you don't want something that feels old, we also have some very special stuff right over here. Swipe. We have a 964 Singer. This is apparently one of the first Singers that ever produced. This would be cool because I do like old cars, but I like modern touches. And this would have a modern touch, still air-cooled, but it will run as if it is a modern car. And it'll feel as if it's an old car. When you go inside the car, obviously, my YouTube hasn't got smell-o-vision, but it smells like an old car in here. It looks like an old car in here. They haven't strayed too far. This would be a cool car to have, so I'm definitely gonna add something like this to the list. I've wanted a 911, an old 964, and I was gonna buy a 964 the other day, but it was a Targa or cab. But I didn't realize the Targa/cab only came with an automatic gearbox. And that would be rubbish because it's from many years ago, so I said no. But if you want something even more modern, we have this rough, which I used to call RUF, which is behind me in this wonderful lime green color. Now this is a much more modern take on an older 911. This is sick. This is a resto mod, but this feels like a reimagining. If you look inside, it's very modern in there, and it feels safe, which is important to me because I have children and myself. It has, I don't know what else it has. I don't know what's it. That's quite sick. Oh, this would be nice. This would be nice. but I feel like this is really expensive. So I'm gonna put the price here. And by the next part of this video, you'll know if it's too much or not. A Clio V6, this would be a cool car to have, but again, probably wouldn't drive it. One thing that's really funny about this car is that they took a V6 engine and stuffed it in the back of a hatchback. But it'll be a cool car to have in the collection. I mean, I don't want one, but it'll be a cool car for someone to have, not me. 458 though, that might be better. And they have a 458 Speciale over there, which is a very different style of car. So the
I looked the other day and I saw the Toyota is one on there for 1.2 million.
I feel like I've missed the 458 boat. Maybe I could get a regular 458, but I'm not sure if that would bring me the excitement I want, especially because I've just got the Ferrari Pista. It would be a bit weird to now have a 458 regular one. It would have to be a Speciale, right? Maybe I should just make my collection special Ferraris. I've got two now, well, I've got one, and then hopefully one on the way, maybe, I don't know. If we up the budget significantly, we could look at something like a Ferrari F40. They've made a lot of these, so they haven't gone up as much as the F50 has gone up, for example. But this car, it's just everyone's childhood dream car, isn't it? When you draw a Ferrari as a child, you're pretty much drawing an F40. And if you come and take a look at this, the paint on the F40 is so thin, you can see the carbon weave underneath it. Okay, now for the modern cars, we have the Mercedes-Benz Black Series. This is a car that I've always loved and I've always wanted to put in the collection. It just looks ridiculous. And I remember when we were in Monaco, if you watch the Monaco video, we were behind one with a license plate Red Hog, and that looked incredible. I love this car. There is a new version coming out though, but undoubtedly the new version will be softer than this, as all cars, the newer ones anyway, are a lot softer now, so that's great. Ferrari 488 Pista, just got one. If you want to get a Pista, you better just do it now because the prices are just going ridiculous and they'll be pretty much hard to get soon because I feel like no one will let go of them. They're not a limited number car, but there was a limited production time on them. And I think, maybe, I'm not sure, this is the last good, like really, really good looking modern Ferrari. The SF90 is my darling and I love how that looks. But the Pista, there's something about it, it just looks special. Another one is the Ferrari 812 GTS. Will it go up in value? You just don't know. I thought it would until Ferrari released the 12 Cilindri, which they released in a convertible V12 as well, because before this, you couldn't really get their V12 front engine cars in a convertible unless it was a special edition car. But then they made this and you could get them and people were like, oh my God, that's sick. And I thought, yeah, they'll probably go up in value. And then the 12 Cilindri came out. Despite being a great car, I don't see the Lamborghini Revolta as anything that would ever go up in value. It may temporarily see a little spike because they've lost a lot. And I think the spike may be because it's supposed to be getting replaced soon. Or do I just stretch the budget and go for something a little crazy, like a 918 Spider again? And that brings me on to hypercars because I have the 918 Spider currently and it has been an amazing investment. It's just gone up in price so much that it would be stupid to not potentially look at getting another hypercar. Here we have a nice selection of my favorite hypercar, 918-1, 918-2, but we also have the daddy of the 918, the Carrera GT, and this is a car that I've actually been considered getting. The only thing about it that's kind of stopped me is the fact that it's like, do I want a 918 and a Carrera GT and not like a 918 and a McLaren P1 or a 918 and a Bugatti Veyron or something? I don't know, but it looks very cool. It hasn't really aged as much as the car is. These cars have been around for a long amount of time, and Porsche recently released an update where they changed the suspension system and put modern tires on it to make it more drivable and more enjoyable so you don't have risk of severe injury. And that brings me on to a 918 Spider. Because if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you know that I've often talked about, should I buy another 918 Spider so I can drive mine as much as I want and keep one in storage? That sounds very stupid though, and it's kind of the same issue I would have if I got a Carrera GT, but it would be cool. And then I'll have two 918 Spiders, one for the weekend and one for the week. That's stupid. Veyron, they have a Veyron in here. The only thing about this Veyron is ridiculously expensive because the miles are low and it's exposed carbon, and obviously it's a super sport, so that makes it more interesting. But the Veyron hasn't ever really been a car that I've really fallen in love with in my older years, but this spec and this car, it might not be everyone's taste, but the exposed carbon with the orange, to me, maybe because I played Test Drive Unlimited, but I think it looks pretty cool. And I can imagine myself with a Veyron like this, just not at that price. But one thing I would buy at that price is a Bugatti Chiron. I've been meaning to get my hands on a Bugatti for a long time. I've always wanted one. And the Chiron has been my favorite, aside from the EB110. This car is usable, it's comfortable, and it just looks amazing. I think it's one of those statement pieces cars. If you see liquid, it's because the car was just washed. It's not leaking liquid, but it looks absolutely stunning. And You know what? It's about time I just went and got something mad. But I think if I got this, I'd probably end up selling the 918, which is not something I really want to do. Although I could sell my other cars with an S and just have a Chiron and 918 and a Lexus IS 250. This would be a sick car to have this. I like the color, I like the spec. W16 engine, quad turbocharged, and more horsepower than a horse pit. It's cool, and it's exposed carbon as well. I don't know, man. Chirons always appeal to me. I just haven't been brave enough to take that step because of things like maintenance. But I know now you can get them with maintenance pack, but a lot of the cars having their maintenance pack expire soon. And when that happens, we should see Chiron prices drop quite a bit. And then I think that might be time for me to get a Bugatti Chiron. Guys, I think this might be the one. But if not that, there's potentially the chance of something else. But there's one issue with if I get a hypercar, and that's I don't have the storage space. You see, in the UK, when you build your house, you can't really change anything to it without asking for permission from your local government, and they tend to be very strict. It's called planning permission. I don't really have the option of extending my house or extending my garage even. I don't really have any option to store more cars at my house. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably put them in storage. I can store it somewhere here, like European Prestige, although this is quite far from me, or I can put it in a dedicated storage space like this one. So now we're on our way to where I store all of my cars, so I can show you the setup there and an alternative to keeping my cars at home. We're currently harnessed up in the Ferrari Pista. The interior in here is absolutely sensational, and I feel like this is now the most beautiful car in the collection. Before, beautiful, I would probably have said the SF90. Do you think the SF90 is more pretty than the 918? What do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a hard one, you know. It's hard to compare, yeah.
The SF90 is sleek.
Yeah, whereas the 918, no, the 918 is sleek as well, but like in a different kind of sleek. So I don't know, actually, you guys vote down below. What do you think is prettier, the SF90 or the 918? But anyway, this is definitely the most beautiful car in the collection now. And maybe we'll add something more beautiful. But first, again, we need to figure out where we're going to keep these cars. The storage place that I use is, well, I'm going to talk you through it when I get there. But they have some very special stuff in there. And obviously, my stuff as well. So we have arrived at the location, the Batcave, where I store my vehicles when I have overflow at my house. You see, I only have a 2-car garage, so it's essential for me to be able to keep some of my cars indoors. Cars like the SVJ, the 918, the Pista, the SF90, these are cars that you don't really want hanging around outside just because they're sensitive to the elements. A lot of them need to be kept on charge, and they're expensive as well. So that's why I chose to use a storage facility that is not only discreet, safe, but also climate-wise, it's the perfect condition. I'll talk to you about that in a second, but for now, you're probably thinking, Tommy, you just store your cars in an empty room, you just park it, and no, the true magic is behind this screen. So this is literally the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of car storage. Everything that you can imagine gets stored here at all different price ranges. What I love about it the most is that it's discreet. And that's important for me because a lot of you guys are always asking, where do I store my cars? The reason I don't answer is obvious. You don't really want to tell people where you store your pride and joy. But here they keep everything nice and low key, nice and secure. But ignore what I'm saying. Let's speak to the owner and we'll get more information on why car storage is essential. So I'm here with my good friend Dan, and he is the owner and the caretaker of this wonderful establishment, I should say. I have a few questions that I'm gonna ask you because I want the viewers to understand, because I think not many people know what car storage is, but what is essentially the benefit of storing my car here versus storing it on my drive at home?
The main benefit is us. Mm-hmm. You get us, we look after your car's in a safe place, it's discreetly put away, it's climate controlled, humidity controlled, it's going to last, and we're preserving, basically yours is an appreciating asset, and we're preserving the value in your vehicle for you. Yeah,
that is kind of like, I guess that's the package, that's the answer, that's everything all together. But I think if we get down to the nitty-gritty details, when it comes to things like humidity, cars have a lot of like rubber and a lot of leather and things that can be affected by humidity. So you control the environment. It's essentially like your own little...
Absolutely, the whole facility is dehumidified, the whole thing. So the humidity is controlled to 55%, keeps everything just moist enough that it doesn't go mouldy, but doesn't let it dry out. So the tyres stay great, the leather stays great.
That's perfect. And then also, again, it's the security, isn't it? It's just nice.
Security's great in here.
Yeah.
We have everything we need to have. It's police monitored. There's cameras everywhere. There's sensors everywhere. You know, you've been here all the time. It's great.
So this is why I'm able to buy loads of cars. And sometimes you guys will be on the drive and I'll be like, oh, my car's in storage. I'm like, where is it? And it's just not there. And then it'll come back in like 6 months' time. Facilities like this allow people to do stuff like that. But I choose to use this facility just because I think my favorite thing, Dan, is that it's super low key. Like, just no one knows where it is, what it is. Well, they know who you are now, but, but it's very low key. And I think it's the safety element, but also the fact that I can park a car here and forget about it and know that if I come back, I'll turn the key and the car will start.
It's a trust thing, isn't it? You trust us, we look after it.
Yeah, absolutely. So an option, if I don't do garage lifts in my garage, my very nice looking garage that will be ruined aesthetic wise by lifts, an option is to just keep my cars here, and the new car that I buy will probably live in the garage because it's probably going to be something very near and dear to me. So that means either my 918, which is always at home, or my SVJ, which is always at home, is probably going to have to come here. So you need to make some more space. Not like they have much space. Like, I think, how many spaces do you have? Like 3 or 2?
We're like 4 or 5 spaces
left. 4 or 5 spaces left. So I'm about to take like 3 of those spaces. Anyway. This is an option that allows me to buy another car. So the storage situation is pretty much sorted. So now it's time to, I guess, figure out what car we're gonna get. Like, Nathan, Dan, what car should I buy? P1.
P1.
What do you think? P1's actually an interesting choice because I have the 918. It would go nicely in the collection. The only thing about P1 now is it's really expensive.
Only just. They're like 1.4, 1.8.
Only 1.8 million pounds. So Dan, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I was going to leave this here, but then I realised I won't be able to get home. Unless you want to drop me the keys for one of your cars, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to give me the Defender Octa key. But yeah, a decision needs to be made. I think we go home and we make a decision. Dan is thinking I should go more modern. Nathan, you're thinking more modern.
Yeah.
I am leaning more to more modern, but I would love something like a SLR or like a Murcielago. But hey, what do we know? If my budget was unlimited, I know I'll just end up getting a Chiron though, but let's make a decision. An alternative to keeping the cars in storage is storing them at home. But as you know, I haven't got that much space left on my drive with all the cars we have, and the garage is only a 2-car garage. We can potentially install lifts in here, which is something that I've looked at in the past. However, I know that it will mess up the aesthetics of the garage, and aesthetic is something I care about, so much so that I installed a Porsche sign, like a showroom sign. This is where the 918 will live from now on. It's like glowing. And in fact, I asked for the help of two people to help me put this up. So Will over here, he's come around to help me install it, because obviously you can't install something like this by yourself. Well, I probably could have, but it would have.
It took the 3 of us.
Yeah, it would have been wonky. I got it from a place called Lit Memorabilia. I'll put the link below if you want to check it out. They have loads of signs, so you can get one if you want. I'm not sponsored. I'm just saying this because you might ask, and I can't. Yeah, it is cool. It's nice, isn't it?
Proper cool.
Yeah, it's nice. And I've plugged it up to like my Philips Hue. Anyway, I'm going off topic right now. The other person that's here is Tom.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, you may know him. He has a little YouTube where he talks about like car dingers here and there. Yeah.
Few turds.
So I've actually called him around today to help me put up the sign, but also to look at the garage and let me know what he thinks about putting lifts in, because you've just got lifts installed.
Yep, just got 1 lift. I've got a double as well,
Yeah.
and I was gonna put 2 in, and I've just got 1 just because I was a little bit nervous about it. It's a bit smaller than this.
Okay.
But yeah, it's worked well. You should get them.
You think so?
100%.
Do you-
Yeah, you've
do you
got
not
loads of
think it'll
space.
mess up? I feel like it'll mess up the vibe of here.
There's something cool about having cars that are
How much is the lift for? Like 5 grand?
I think mine was about 5.5, 6 grand,
Okay.
something like that installed.
Okay, so if I put a lift here, I've had it measured in the past, and it was really weird. I had it measured with a Pista and an SVJ because I wanted to get a Pista at the time, and I had loads of other cars. So the Pista can go on top of the SVJ, or vice versa. We would have to change the doors though. So those would have to change to rollers, which I don't think look as good as like, I don't know what you call these, like slabs, but you have to do what you gotta do. And what I've got to do is keep cars in the garage.
They all look very similar.
Do you think so?
Yeah, with the slats. Yeah. Mine look pretty much
Are yours
the same.
matte?
I had to do exactly the same.
You've kind of convinced me. I don't know what side I'm going to put the lift on, because that side, there's like this like shelf thing, shelf cupboard, whatever you want to call it. So but I think this is the logical side to put on. But then also, when I come out my house, I'll open the door and be greeted by 2 cars on top of each other, which probably would be sick actually.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I just go in the garage now and go.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
know what, I might have to. Yeah, you know what, I might have to get a lift. The choice between an old and new car or a supercar versus a hypercar is a lot harder than I realized it was going to be. The old cars have a lot of passion and they're going to be always sought after, but the newer cars, they bring something to the table that you can't really find with old cars, and that's just reliability. Although some of them have terrible reliability, often more times than not, at least you can fall back on something like warranty. I've got so many cars at the moment that me having an old car that will probably end up taking, or an older car that will probably end up taking a lot of my energy and time just to keep it healthy. The thought of that is daunting. Then also, I'd have to keep it in storage, which is great, but I have to go and get it out of storage and whatnot. But you know what I've been thinking about, and it's really been sitting at the forefront of my mind? Last year, in fact this time last year when I bought the 918 Spider, I paid £1.25 million for that car, and it was a lot of money. I knew the car would go up in money, so I wasn't too stressed, although I was stressed. But I knew it was going to go up in money, so I thought, you know what, as a safe buy, it's going to go up, no issues. Fast forward to a year later, the car's gone up so much that the amount is eye-watering. So I paid 1.25 for it, and someone just offered to buy it off of me about 2 weeks ago for £2.1 million. Now, that is a massive increase, almost £1 million up in value, and that is numbers you can't really achieve at the supercar level, because supercars tend to be, you know, 300 grand, 400 grand, maybe you got 100 here, 100 there, and so on. But with the hypercars, the monetary gain is so huge, and it's so enjoyable to have the car, something special, something rare, something that is unique, and something that is like a piece of automotive history. And it makes me feel like, instead of even thinking about supercars, I need to just scrub that out and solely focus on a hypercar. Whether it's old or new, that's a question to answer on another day. But one thing I think that I've realized is that owning a hypercar is honestly an unbeatable experience. So I'll be stupid not to go and spend a ridiculous amount of money on another car and hopefully make a ridiculous amount of money. But one thing I can say is that, look, making money is nice, but I drive all my cars, and that is the ultimate thing for me. So I just need a car that is hyper, drivable, enjoyable, and I love. So we're gonna start again, another hypercar search. We're going back in. I've already got the 918 Spider. It's done me well. Oh look, I added some Visac bits to it. It now has the Visac canards, and also I got the Visac front things, carbon things. These really expensive, but check this out. Look what I got from eBay. I was on eBay one day and looking for 918 bits, and my friend Shane sent me this. He said, look what's on eBay. A 918 carbon spoiler. It needs to be lacquered, but it's the top section as well. I need to buy the button. But look, I now have a carbon spoiler for my 918. This has nothing to do with the video, but look at that. That's awesome. Anyway, back to the video. Looking for another hypercar. We're gonna go back in. I have decided now, no more faffing, no more running around. I'm just gonna do it. So join us as we begin the hypercar search part 2. Now just need to figure out which hypercar to buy.